previous story is my story. Please note all identifying information was removed for safety. In 2005, on the unit, I was sold from one gang to another gang as a sex slave and to protect me from the other gangs that were trying to turn me out. In 2006, I discharged my sentence and was released on probation for a second charge. My probation was revoked on 2007 and I returned to TDCJ custody in 2008. During processing at the W County Jail, a male lieutenant pat searched me in my dress and squeezed my breast so hard that my knees buckled. This was caught on camera, but I didn't know it at the time. He asked what my gender was when he realized what he had done, and I told him female. Shocked, he said the paperwork says I'm a male. So I told him my gender is female, my sex is male, and my orientation is MTF transsexual woman. He said, I don't know how to handle this. And a female sergeant said, I'll take care of this one. She showed them how to pat search a woman and took me to the infirmary to be housed in special housing. Captain P got it authorized for me to be allowed to continue my hormone replacement therapy, be issued bras and panties, keep my long hair, and be treated as a woman. But I was taken to TDCJ's B unit in a squad car by myself. I came to TDCJ intake, was forced to strip in front of about 100 men who whistled and made fun of me, my breasts, my bra, my panties, long hair, nail polish, and cute butt. This infuriated the guards, and everything went downhill from there. From the COs to the captain on shift, I was stripped of my identity, ridiculed, called names, and told I must become a man now. My head was shaved, nails cut short, put on exhibition, and for 3 days the ranking officers tried to find a way to get my finger and toe polish off. Finally, a female lieutenant brought in some polish remover and forced me to take it off. The head nurse took all my medications and destroyed them, all except my depression medication. My body and mind went on a roller coaster ride as I went through hormone changes cold turkey. Not a very good experience at all. One of the male guards liked to sit 4 feet away from me and watch me shave my body and shower when he was on duty. He'd ask me what I would do for him if I asked him for anything. Another guard that escorted me to the doctor's office said, I bet you enjoyed that after my prostate exam. I next was put on a bus, handcuffed to a huge man, and sent to a holdover unit called R unit. On my way to A unit. On the way to R unit at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark, in the middle of 80 men blocking the view of the guard, I was forced to have oral sex with the man I was handcuffed to, while others watched. When he ejaculated in my mouth, I spit the semen and the blood from my bleeding gums on my shirt sleeve. No one noticed me do that. When they got off, loaded at R unit, a not-so-bright sergeant seen the blood on my shoulder sleeve and asked what happened. Several eyes popped wide open and stared at me. I said my gums started bleeding. He could have heard a pin drop when the sergeant looked me in my terrified eyes, looked at the other men, grinned, and said, right, now I'm in a unit designed for safe prison to comply with the Prison Rape Elimination Act. There are about 80 other transsexual women here. Now I've been released and I'm home and everything's much better, but I still have those nightmares about my past. I have another story here, which is Lilly's story. In the February issue of Black and Pink, I read an article which was written by Paula W. The article was about the physical, emotional, and sexual abuse that this sister had to go through in the prison system. My heart and my sympathy goes out to this sister and every other LGBT that had to deal with these kinds of horrible, violent, savage acts that continue to happen here in the U.S. prison. I too was a victim of prison gang rape and sexual abuse when I was sent to jail for 3 weeks. The things that happened to me are horrible, disgusting, and disturbing, and I hope to pray that no one will ever have to go through what I went through. In April 2008, I was just coming home from partying at a nightclub when I was pulled over by the police. The police officer arrested me because of numerous fines which I had not paid. I was brought down to the county jail, and that's where my problems began. While I was being processed, one of the guards noticed that my ID had me as a male. I was born a male, but I have always lived my life as a woman since the age of 15. I've had my feminine features enhanced surgeries done on my face, hips, and buttocks. I have breast implants also. I look 100% like a female, which left the processing guards confused about my gender. The processing guards then contacted the shift captain, so then came down and asked me if I was a male or female. I told him that I was a female. Then he asked me if I had a penis or a vagina between my legs. I explained to him that I do have a penis between my legs, but that everything else about me is female. He then got extremely angry, put his finger in my face and said, just because you wear makeup, you dress like a whore, and have a pair of tits, it does not mean that you're a fucking female. The two guards started laughing at what this disgusting man had just said to me, and all I could do was stand there in total shock and humiliation. The shift captain then instructed the guards to pat search me and to put me in cell number 3. I was searched and my shoes were taken from me because they had high heels on. I was then taken down to cell 3, barefooted, which happened to be about 40 yards away from the CO's desk and completely out of their view. When the guard opened the cell door, I quickly noticed that there were about 20 men in the cell, and they started doing cat calls and whistling at me. I've never been so terrified in my life. I had on a mini dress and an open-top shirt that showed a little too much cleavage, and it instantly dawned on me that being dressed like this in a cell full of men was nothing more than a disaster waiting to happen. I asked the guard if he would please give me a blanket so that I could cover up my body. The guard looked at me and he said, if you would stop dressing like a $20 hooker, you wouldn't have to worry about covering up your body. He then shoved me inside the cell and slammed the door behind me. I was so scared I just stood there with my arms crossed over my chest so I could cover up my breast. I kept my head down so I didn't make any eye contact with anyone there. I wasn't looking at anyone, but I could feel everyone's eyes on me, and I could hear them whispering and snickering. I felt like a lamb that's been thrown into a den of lions. I slowly walked over to an empty corner of the cell, and I sat there quietly by myself. I was then approached by 3 men. They started asking me simple questions at first. What's my name? Where I'm from? How old am I? I politely answered their questions. Then their questions turned from simple to rude to obscene. They then started asking me what size are my breasts, the color of my panties, and if I would show them my breasts. I got angry and told them that their questions were inappropriate and that I no longer wished to talk to them. Then one of them reached down into my shirt and grabbed one of my breasts. I was outraged, and I grabbed his arm and dug my nails into it. And I told him to let go of my breast. Then one of the other men grabbed me by the throat, and he told me that they, the 3 men, belonged to a prison gang who are very well known for their prowess and their random acts of violence. and that if I did not comply with their demands and perform sexual acts for them, that I was going to be badly hurt and possibly killed. They also advised me that I would be killed if I were to snitch, in other words, tell the guards on me. I knew that trying to fight them off would be futile and useless because I'm only 5'5" and weigh about 135 pounds. And to top it off, I never had a fight in my life. I was stoned like a deer caught in a coming car's headlights, looking around the room, hoping someone would step up for me and tell these men to leave me alone. But no one came to my aid. No one protested or even uttered a deep disapproval of the crime that was taking place right in front of their eyes. As a matter of fact, a few of the men just started laughing, and some of them even said things like, "Ask her this way when you're done with her." And another man said, "I'll take sloppy seconds." Right there, I knew there was no way of stopping what was about to happen to me. My heart felt like it stopped, and my blood turned cold. I was then taken to the bathroom area, which is located completely in the back of the holding cell. I was told to take off my shirt and bra, and then forced to perform oral sex on all three men. Then things went from bad to worse. Other men started coming into the bathroom and demanding that I give them oral sex too. Then one of the men turned extremely violent. He grabbed me by my hair and threw me over the sink and told me to take off my panties and bend over the sink. I pleaded and begged him to please not violate me in this way. He only got angry and grabbed me by the back of my neck and forcefully bent me over the sink. He tore off my panties, and then he and three other men brutally and savagely sodomized me. My panties were shoved in my mouth because I kept crying, screaming, and begging these men to stop the abuse that they were putting me through. I ended up fainting twice from the pain that these men were inflicting on me, but all they did was smack me on the back into consciousness so that they could continue raping me. The rape lasted about 2 hours, and not once did any of the guards come back there to do a standard security check. After the men finished violating me, they then told me to clean and fix myself up to act natural, like nothing happened. I did what they said, and then I sat back down in the corner by myself, shaking, and I wept like a child. A guard finally came back to the holding cell and told us all to go into another room to be given our prison uniform, that we will be getting sent to a block in general population. When I got to my assigned block, I went to my cell, and I wasn't even there for a hot 20 minutes before different inmates came to me asking for sexual favors. I was always too afraid to ever say no out of fear of being hurt, assaulted, or possibly killed. In those 3 weeks that I spent in that hellhole of a jail, not one day went by when I wasn't sexually abused. I never spoke to this to anyone except my lawyer, and until now. What happened to me was horrible and disgusting. No one should ever have to go through something like that, ever. Words alone could never truly express the anger that I feel, not only towards the inmates that did this to me, but also towards the guards and the irresponsible actions of the Department of Corrections. A lawsuit has been filed against the jail and the guards. My lawyer prohibits me from discussing anything about the lawsuit, but I do want everyone to know that my main focus for the lawsuit is not money. It is mostly going to be directed towards the protection of GBLT people who are ever unfortunate enough to find themselves in jail. GBLT people have the right to be protected and feel safe and secure, no matter what environment he or she may be find themselves in. Sadly, I regret to say that